Let's see. All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Thursday, July 13th, 2023. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day this morning and every morning to join me at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little late this morning, about a couple minutes. My apologies. We're just setting up for the day. We did have PPI this morning, so let's go around the horn. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button if you like these videos. We do it for y'all. This video is for you guys. This answer your questions to prep you for the morning. The information is the most important. Dow futures up 70 points. NASDAQ up 0.77%, 118 points. I am long NASDAQ futures. S&P 500 futures 45.25 up 17 points. I am long S&P 500 futures. I'm green on both. Dow futures, Russell, 1954 up 0.33%. We talked about that Russell, but again, everything's moving higher. 10-year treasury yields going down 3.822. Excellent. The dollar index, we talked about this yesterday on the blog at $100 level. That's what we're looking for. $100 or 100 level. Break that. It's a good night for the bears. Probably a bounce. Obviously, we're at the most oversold on the dollar since December of 2022. Guys, you're not going to go straight to zero. You know that. We're probably not going to get to target today. We'll break probably 100 and then bounce a little bit. That's usually what happens. Volatility index 1334, down 1.48%. How low can it go? That's really cheap insurance out there for anybody that is looking for it. Crude oil down 0.25%, 75.57. Gasoline futures down 0.61%. Gold 1964 an ounce. 24.60 for silver futures up 1.21%. Copper up 1%. Yes, when the dollar goes down, commodities go higher. That's price in dollars. Hello. Let's go and take a look here. Euro dollar 111.82. We are green on that long on the euro dollar long. Dollar yen 138.53. That tanked. We signaled that as well. Yesterday we signaled that if you wanted to take profit ahead of the CPI number, if you're holding, you're doing great. 138.53. Think we got around. What did we get into Forex? Let me get the levels here. 139.65 is where we got into the dollar yen short. We're up about 112 pips if you held. I think Nick held his dollar yen short, which was smart. Pound dollar up 100 pips. Bitcoin futures 30,735. That's up. Thank you, dollar. Ethereum 0.72% to the upside. 1892. We're going higher. Yes, we are. Morning, Alex. Soothing sounds. Good morning. QQQ next targets. All right. Yes, Nick is on. Let me say he's holding UJ. Excellent. QQQ. What are the next levels? We're at 375.78. We are breaking up above 23.6. Does all-time highs seem crazy now? No, you're not going to get there tomorrow, so don't worry. In terms of target, your next target will be 382.45. Problem is, you have a gap to fill. You have one right here at 368.72. More than likely that fill, but as long as we stay above the 20-day moving average of 366.29. We also talked about seasonality. After the 17th of July, we tend seasonally to kind of move sideways and drift lower. We have earnings coming up. So again, the first 2 weeks of July, all my morning note guys know, is bullish. Yes, it's the most seasonally bullish, the first 14 days. We are now at day 13. Tomorrow's the 14th. If you have longs, great, enjoy them. It doesn't last forever or every day. You're going to continue higher, but you're going to get pullbacks like we did last Thursday. But that's okay. You know the target of where we're going. 372.26 is that fib line. Again, you want to hold that. Maybe we get to 373. Again, we have a lot of room to 382.45. I think futures are the best way to go, so we don't have any theta burn. So that's kind of how I want to take a look at it in terms of Qs. I'd rather do NASDAQ futures instead, which we are green. Let's answer some questions. Oh, let me do something rather quick this morning, and I should report it because I totally forgot to say in the top of the note. PPI, Producer Price Index, the lowest reading since 2020. September 2020, excuse me. PPI, month over month, 0.1%. The forecast was 0.2%. I was kind of hoping for a negative reading. I know. PPI year over year actual 0.1%. Forecast was 0.4%. Very, very nice. Again, guys, we talked about this last year in December. July and June are the peak of inflation. What happens when you have a set of data points and you're trying to find an average? Well, if it's the last 12 months and the last peak, the highest point of the data reading was the 12th month and that's rolling over, what do you think that's going to do to the average? Come down. Let's make the analogy. Aaron Judge plays for the Yankees, played for I don't know how many years. His first year did okay, second year did okay, example, right? So let's say last year he hit 60, I think last year he hit 62 home runs, right? And this year he's been injured. So he probably has, I don't know what he has now, maybe 17, 20, maybe 10 home runs, I don't know. Shotani is killing it, by the way. I love baseball. So if we take the average of those 2 points, let's say the last 3 years, the 2 years before he got injured this year, his home run totals were above, maybe let's say 55 on average. But since he was hurt this year, and we count that part of the last 3 years, what happens to the average? It drops. And then if you roll into the next 3 years, which would be 2024, for example, in terms of a batting average or home runs, you take the last year, which was a strong year, 2021 or 2022, if my memory serves me right, 2021. You're taking that off. Again, that average is going to come down. Inflation is going to come down. It has been coming down. Yields are going to go down. The dollar's going to come down. This is nothing new if you've been here in the morning note, if you've read our newsletters, if you've been in our service. This has all been predicated on the simple fact that inflation has peaked. It has since last year. And yes, we had a recession last year. 2 consecutive quarters of GDP negative readings. So the idea of a recession this year is highly unlikely. We just had one in 2020. We had one in 2022. Recessions are not every 2-year occurrence either. That's very rare. So this expectation of recession, I think it's more wishful thinking for those who missed the bottom. Happens. I heard the same thing during March and April 2020 of COVID. Oh, we got another leg down to go. COVID is definitely going to kill everybody. It's over, right? What happened? We moved on. America is very resilient. You can see it. We're better than most of the European nations, westernized nations, in terms of inflation, GDP growth, and employment. America. Good morning, Carlos. Let's see the Tesla chart, please. Let's go and take a look at the dollar rather quickly. We'll go straight to the questions. $100. That's the level we're looking for, 100. Once we break 100, we're looking at 98.95. Again, I don't know when that's probably going to come. Maybe next month if we get a nice pop. But again, it is breaking down. New 52-week lows for the dollar. Really good sign. And S&P, new 52-week highs today. Let's answer the questions. NVIDIA, call if it pulls back into support of 431 on a 4-hour chart. Let's see it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Right around here, 439. Oh, you have 431, so right around here. I would say this would be your support here on 439, but you're already at all-time highs. I mean, it's going to be a little tough. I mean, you can play the momentum higher. There really isn't any fib extensions here. I don't have any fibs here. So it's really, based on volume. What do call buyers want to buy? I assume that a lot of people who own NVIDIA stock are probably writing upside calls right now to mitigate any kind of risk. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot of upside call writing on NVIDIA, especially at new all-time highs, especially with the expectation that seasonally speaking, that the mid part of July gets a little weak. So again, if you see a lot of NVIDIA calls writing or call volume, that's the reason why. But again, in terms of support, I would say an NVIDIA first level of support is right here, 438.63. That's your breakout point. Or most recent breakout point, let's say. So let's place an alert if we break below that. If we can kind of hold that, fine. We'll see what we could do. But I think there's better setups than NVIDIA personally. Yeah, Alex, we went over the dollar index together. Amazon finally above 132. Meta finally, it tagged 315. We had 315 calls. But if you remember, last week we had the 300 calls, just 2 days too early. Hi, Gar. Thoughts on TLT calls? Yes, I believe that bond prices will go higher since they move inverse with bond yields. In terms of what we're trying to do in terms of calls, get above the 20-day moving average of 101.83, then we can have a discussion. We're still not there yet. The TLT chart is still relatively bearish. Shopify, yeah, Shopify. We played calls. It's soaring. We had the, which one were those? We had the 70 calls. The 70 calls on Shopify for next week. We took 35%. Everyone got the snack. I really like this stock to go higher. Above 69.10, guys, that's the next gap up that we have. We're at 67.36. We had the 70 calls. We'll let the runners do the work. But 69.10 is our next target. That's the daily gap to fill. You can see it right there. And then we have another gap at 84.31. If we break above 69.10, which is that gap fill, we got a lot of room to play between 70 and 84, and we can just start hitting it the way we did DraftKings, the way we did Palantir, the way we did Mara. That's what we're looking for. We're looking shop to go to 84.31. That's my target on Shopify, at least for a short-term move. How do you check the volume on options contracts? You go to trade, and then you want to go to your options chain. This is on TOS. They don't have volume on Robinhood that I see. You can always go to bar chart as well. Bar chart has it for free. It may not be real time, but here on TOS, you go to layout, volume, open interest, percent change, and then you have the column that says volume, open interest, percent change, bid and ask. AMD. AMD still needs a break above 117.58 to play calls up to 122. Alex says, I can't join the free group. It says that the link is expired. Is there anything that I can do? Yes, let's go ahead and break it down. So what you want to do, if you want to join the market blog, is you just want to go to our website, gar.capital. No .com, just www.gar.capital. That is our website. You go to pricing, click on that, and then you're going to go to not sure where to start, and you click on free plan. Very that's it. I also put something really, really neat on the blog yesterday. I messed around and we started working on an AI, kind of a chat GPT thing. You type in on this AI, I put the link up. I'm still working on it, guys. Again, I'm always working even after the bell's rung. I just love this stuff. Anything to help our members. So it's a GAR Capital AI where you can ask simple reference-based questions. Sorry, it's not going to give you predictions of the market. That's what I'm here for. Name me some common chart patterns for day trading. And here's the breakdown. Common chart patterns for day trading. Yes, you can use ChatGPT, and here's some of the stuff that it writes. Head and shoulders, double tops, blah, 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 blah. So again, if you're not really into ChatGPT and you want to try our GAR AI, the name is being worked on, guys. But again, it's just for you guys as a reference. I paid like $100 for it just for the amount of users that can use it. So again, this is free of charge for everybody. It's really just to help you guys get a little more value from the group. So I think this AI is going to help you with your reference-based questions, especially the acronyms I say. I always assume everyone knows what PPI, CPI, GDP means. And again, that's just the trader in me in my mind. But some people may not know, and maybe they're afraid to ask, what does GDP mean? What the hell does Carlos mean? Well, you have the AI there. And if that doesn't work, again, DM me on the server. That's fine. You could DM me and say, hey, man, what does this mean? I'd love to answer your questions. I want to help you guys. I wouldn't be here on the server if I didn't want to help y'all. This is why I do it. Carlos, a bit off topic. Are you still using Trezor for crypto? Yes, my Trezor wallet is in my safe. Don't look at it. Don't pay attention to it. I pretend it doesn't exist. After having it for some time, do you still recommend it? Yeah, just like anything else. Listen, it's a cold storage wallet. It's like a safe. It's a digital safe with like 20 passwords based on single word answers. And that's in my safe, chilling. Really, since the bottom call that we did, I really just have not looked at any investments, and it has been an absolute dream. I've just been focusing on the Discord and the members, and I let my stocks do their job. The stocks work for me. Money works for me. I let them do what they got to do. I'll focus on taking care of what I got to take care of, and then I'll focus on that later. But for the most part, yeah, listen, when it comes to crypto, at this point, I just pretend it doesn't exist. And then we'll see you at 60K when we get there. Cool, thanks. Been wanting to purchase it and move off exchange, but always hesitant. Yeah, I like Trezor. I bought mines on Amazon. A lot of people say sometimes that might be, hacked. If that's the case, buy directly from Trezor, so you know it's directly from them, not a third party. Now, Amazon does have Trezor Direct, the actual store on there. I would buy direct from the manufacturer, not directly from a second-end seller, like a middleman or a wholesaler, for example. You don't want that. You want to get it direct from them because this is your digital assets. It's all about safety, obviously. Let's go over Dow. Dow had a really great earnings report. They did hit 50 yesterday. We played Dow, I think, last week or the week before. So Dow has been great. It's breaking out. We've said airlines are going to do well for months now. That's been a grind. The Jets ETF, as you can see, has been absolutely doing great. But it still has more room to go. It needs to go to 2371 in terms of the Jets airline ETF. We will have more earnings coming up. JPM reports tomorrow. We traded that this week. We caught it. It's probably going to get to 150 today. Cheers. Thank you, man. PayPal. Finally PayPal is waking up, but everything has. We're above the 100-day moving average. Do have a gap to fill here, guys, at 74.90. So maybe, just maybe, we can start taking a look at that for our next trade. Gotta love these gaps. The last time we played gap fills? Was it square? It was gap filled. And we were trading it since this yellow line breakout of 67.80. Caught bags on it with the runner. Again, sometimes it is a little easier than expected, but profits pay the same regardless. So let's take a look at that gap fill here. Again, gaps do not have to fill, but it's a pretty good, kind of indicator moving forward. So we'll keep an eye on that 75 to 74.90 range. I'll see what PayPal's options are for the 75 calls. If there's a lot of volume, more than likely I'll probably send it. But as of right now, let's see if we can get above 71.92. We'll say 72 to confirm, and then we'll see if we can get to the 75 target. How do you feel about the oil sector? Is this time to buy? If you're looking for growth, no. Why do I say that? Because energy is not very growthy. Do I think energy is going to go higher? Yes. Why? Because the dollar is going to go lower and make oil prices go higher. Pretty much that simple. Everything is so dependent on that damn currency, the damn dollar, that again, yes, energy is not going to outperform, guys. That was last year. Energy will do fine, but again, you're not going to generate the alpha that you want. If you own energy, keep it, enjoy it. But would I want to add positions here on oil? Not really. Just let it ride. UPS 195. UPS I like, but never has options volume, which sucks. And they have a gap to fill too, right there at 195. So we'll take a look at that as well, but it never has volume, guys. It never does, unless it's earnings. So like FedEx and UPS, I kind of stopped trading those names years ago. It just never worked. Puts on NVIDIA if it breaks below 400. Yeah, if we can break below 400, sure. We'll see if we can get some puts. Microsoft and Apple, just so you know, guys, we're all bear traps. So again, if you shorted on that break of support, guys, it is very difficult to short in a bull market. That's why the next 2 weeks, in terms of how weak the market is, it may be a little more choppy than it is weak. So next week, play it safe. We know what we're expecting seasonally. Choppiness and weakness until we get the FOMC, because we'll have earnings as well. ROKU, just like Carvana and all these crazy names and high betas, guys, they run together. They're ETF. Remember, like an ETF, they're commoditized. In terms of ROKU, yes, it is breaking out. 76.69, you're above major moving averages. Do they have any gaps? That's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and put our lines here. That's how far the stock has gone. Yep. And I like ROKU a lot, actually. I do. I've owned it for a while now. To the right, and you can see that nice break. If you're talking about next target, you're probably talking about 86.85. So we'll keep an eye on what exactly the volume looks like on the name ROKU. In terms of support, it's 73.35. If you break below that, then yeah, longs would probably be invalidated, as we may get a slight double top. So we will see what we get on ROKU. All right, guys, I will leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. I'm going to go check in with futures. I'm going to check in with the server, and let's make it a great trading day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. Cheers.